Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video is a little bit new. I've never done a video like this before, but I feel like it's important to talk about our planner setup failures and what went wrong and what goes in our minds when we're setting up our planners, and these decisions that make us change our mind from using something that we've essentially already set up, or something we bought and we no longer like it. So I'm going to talk about a few planners that did not work out to make the cut for the 2023 planner that I will be using and the reasons why. So let's get into it. So I already knew I needed a bound book. It didn't matter the brand. I just knew I needed a bound book. I was very certain that I would have started out the year with my desk agenda and started out the year with my desk agenda and my Hemlock and Oak 2023 weekly. So I'll do this first. So basically, this Hemlock and Oak 2023 planner fits perfectly in the desk agenda without the hardcover. So as you can see, the cover is not attached because in order to use this in this planner, you will need to remove the cover and make a new back in order for it to fit. That was not the problem. It fit perfectly and it closed, and it actually fits a lot better than like the Stalogy or the Hobonichi Cousin. So this was what I thought I was going to be in love with, but it turned out it did not really work out. So I'm going to show you what I did in order to try to make this work. I love journaling, and with my lifestyle and the things that I want to track, having a notebook that's a planner that's already set up does have some limitations because it's already set, and I need to be able to have certain note pages to track things. I need pages to keep track of my branded content and things like that. So what I did was, you know, the very first part of the planner where it always has like all these goals and things like that. Well, I don't like planners that are already kind of like laid out when it comes to goals. What are your goals for the years? First quarter, this and that, stuff like that. To me, I will make my own. I feel like that's a little bit too stressful, and when I see those pages in the planners and I don't have anything to write because my brain doesn't operate like that, I feel bad when I don't fill it out. So I took out this entire section of the planner. So this whole section, I cut it out, and then I added blank pages. So I also have the Hemlock and Oak blank notebook. I shared that in that planner review video. So basically the blank notebook, I had like a little bit of it left, and I took out, if you notice with this particular notebook and certain notebooks, they're like little notebooks all combined together to make one notebook. So I took out two from the notebook. The notebook is a little bit smaller than this planner, so it's not the same height and it's not the same width. So that that was not going to bother me because I can also like customize it. So I added the note pages into this to make this combination slash planner in the back and kind of notebook in the front. I really love this idea and it turned out really cute, but I'm going to tell you why I didn't use it. So this is how I set it up. Very cute. This is the look that I'm going for 2023 in my setup. The new one that I'm going to set up, that I'm going with, I may change a few things, but for now, this is how I envision having the planner. Sorry. So this was super cute. I covered the white page, obviously make it my own. I have some acetate here, little pocket where I can like stuff things. I also have a pocket that I made. Making this pocket is super easy. All you have to do is like cut a triangular, you can use cardstock, acetate, anything kind of thick because you're going to be putting things in and out, so you want to make sure it's pretty sturdy. I made a little pocket. This is from an old planner that I'm not using. I just cut it out. It has the 2023 calendars, holidays, and then on the back there's a 2023 at a glance. So I just tucked it in here for reference. So I have my intentions that were supposed to be on this page, a little breakdown of what my intentions are going to be. This is just to show you how heavily in this planner I was. And I tried to do like a little design with one of my punches. Turns out that the punch does not punch if the paper is too thick. So kind of screwed up here. I was going to figure something creative to put right here. But here was supposed to be my work time off tracker, work notes. This is from, I think this is Catspresso. This is an acetate calendar. I just put it right here because it's like very minimal and I want to be able to kind of like see through. Just add in the layers, just make it just a lot better. And then this was supposed to keep track of like work time off, my vacation days, sick and family days, and I have like floating holidays, half days, stuff like that. It was all to keep track of. This I kept in the planner. This I just kind of white out the heading. They were talking about like goals. I didn't really need that. Same thing on this sheet. I added some decorative paper here for my setup that I'm going to be working with. I do have like a particular theme. These are notepads from Love Shack Fancy, and I am just ripping the note pages out to use in the planner. Here I made this on Canva. This is places to visit. Also places to visit, places to visit, which could mean like a restaurant, and also even just a sightsee. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a whole vacation. I have my list of the Marvel Universe movies in order of how I like to watch them, and as I watch, I can always either check them off or put a dot. Like if I'm doing one round, I'll do it all in pink, and then I'll do all in green and stuff like that. And then this section was supposed to be the home section. The home dashboard was here. Remember how I tell you how to set up a notebook? Make sure you know what's going where. It's just a lot easier when it comes to organizing, because it is blank and you kind of have to have your own vision in mind. But it's really confusing when you're trying to just wing it and do it on your own. So this was supposed to be the kids and Snoopy's information. This section was my meal ideas. And then here was for garden, and I'm going to take this out because I need it for my new setup. Garden and garden. Here I have my bill tracker, same note paper. I just ripped it, glued it on. This is my bill tracker. This is a debt tracker that I made. And one thing I like with the notebook, to kind of make it a little bit exciting, it's really good to layer whatever you put in inside of it. If everything is kind of like the same page, it's not really boring, but it's a little boring. But if you kind of like make some of the inserts a little smaller, it just gives it makes it a little bit more fun. The next page was my health and wellness page. And here I would list like my symptoms were going to go here. And then I had my doctor's appointment tracker. The only thing that, I mean, while setting this up, I was extremely like, I was kind of like low-key panicking, figuring out how I'm going to incorporate my journaling and my memory spreads that I love to do. But in my head, what I plan to do is, let's say I'm on vacation this week, I could just tip in a thinner paper so it doesn't really bulk up too much. I could tip in a paper here to do my memory plan and problem solve. If you have a planner that's already set, a good way to incorporate journal into it, let's say if you want to do even a day, it doesn't have to be a whole week, just tip in the pages. Thinner paper because it's going to be less bulk over time. Here was supposed to be my business section, payment, campaign tracker, content ideas, branded content notes, which I need a lot of pages for because I do work with a lot of different brands throughout the year, and sometimes I take lots of notes, requirements, and all that stuff. So I actually needed more than this. So I figured if I were to run out, I can always tip some pages in. And then these pages kind of got stuck together because I used glue and the glue ran, so I really don't use liquid glue, but I was going to figure something out for here. And then I would have started January. I didn't decorate the January month yet, but I did went ahead and start writing in the first week that I was actually using it. So I really got far. You know, I got to a point where I really started to actually plan. And I was like, I don't like this paper. That's literally what happened. I didn't like this paper anymore. This paper is thick. I think this is 120 GSM, and I love the white. I love the grid space. I love the timed, but I didn't like the thickness of the paper. It's a little too thick for me, and I thought I would have been okay with like a schedule and keeping track of what I need to be doing at certain times throughout the day, because I want to get a little bit more disciplined with my days to get more done. If I write down what I'm supposed to do and I'm looking at my planner throughout the day, I can see what I need to do, blah blah blah. It did not work like that. I felt extremely stressed out having this big gap here and not having things to put in. So that is what happened here. These little things that prevented me from using certain planners, to non-planner people may seem like, girl, you're crazy. But for me, and I know other people feel this way, is the amount of blank page kind of scares some of us. It scares me sometimes. But it had focus here. It had intentions. It had tasks. I'm like, oh, this is overwhelming. This is way too much. I did not want to go through this. It just took me like 2 or 3 days, and I said, that's it. I have to charge my phone while I'm recording. I wasn't prepared. It's nighttime, and I figured I want to get this done to share this video Sunday, because I'm actually going to do a little planner setup now. So this is basically not, I can't use it. So really good concept. I love it. I do enjoy setting up planners. But so now I just stuck the 2023 agenda from Louis Vuitton, and I have been using it for work all week. And I guess I will just continue using this for work. And this will be the use for this. I do need a separate notebook for work because I take confidential information, like customers' information and stuff like that. And I also want to be able to keep that separate from my planner. Next up is the Hemlock Oak. This is the notebook that I took, where I took the sections from to put into that planner to kind of make a notebook planner situation. So basically, this was not this size. Obviously, I had it cut down. This was a regular A5 size, and I didn't get to a point of setting this up. I didn't get that far because when I went to FedEx to get it cut, the people at FedEx, the guy who normally does it, he wasn't there. The other employees weren't there, and there was a new guy, and he didn't know how to use the machine. So I ended up going to Staples. I was super nervous going to Staples because I'm like, all right, I don't really like how Staples do it, but whatever. Went to Staples. Me being so nervous about Staples messing it up, I messed up and told the guy the wrong measurement. So the reason why this one didn't work out is obviously this is like an entire inch short, or half an inch. This is about half an inch short, and no, I think I'm almost a whole inch short. And you know what they say, size matters, and it really does, because I could never use a cover with a notebook this small. Not only did I mess up on the length, I also messed up on the width. Look at that. Like this, when he cut it and gave it back to me, a little part of me inside just became so sad. Because it's not like you can fix this. This is unfixable. And I was super, super, super sad. I said, okay, thank you. And I said, how much? Like, to pay for him. He must have saw like the hurt in my eyes, and he's like, don't worry about it. I wanted to cry because I wanted to use this notebook, and maybe I don't know, the thickness of the paper is still the same, so maybe it probably wouldn't have worked out anyway. But this is the last Hemlock and Oak that did not work. But I really believe that Hemlock and Oak is an amazing planner, an amazing notebook. The paper is actually pretty good. It is really nice. I just don't want that for my yearly planner. I like the thinner paper. So I was going to show you what I did with the first Stalogy that I started with, which was this. And you know, I had it all planned out. I had my post-its, you know, where they're supposed to be. And then I am using it in my cover, and I'm like, wait, this is a little too short. And not for nothing, look. So this didn't work out because the measurements was off. This was almost 1/2 inch too short, too wide. And then I believe that I usually come down a little bit more, so the length was also screwed up. That was one reason. And then another reason was I just wasn't feeling how I set it up before. So I didn't get too far. I realized I didn't like it from early on, which was good on my part. It saved me a lot of time. And I quickly jumped ship and I didn't want to use it anymore. So the last one that didn't work out. So in order of the chaos, I started with this, didn't like it because I said the paper was too thin. You know, this love-hate relationship with the Stalogy, that was it. Then I said, let me go and use the thicker paper, which is a Hemlock and Oak. This was a disaster after I told them the wrong measurements. And then I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and use my bullet journal that I have. This is the Leuchtturm and bullet journal collab. And I had it cut down and everything. And then when this didn't work out, I tried to use this. So that was the order. I should have went in order, but we're just talking about why things don't work and our little things that, you know, make us so unique in this community is our love and for paper and our dislike for little nuisances when it comes to having the perfect planner, I should say. So this is the Leuchtturm and bullet journal collab. It is like 1 1/4 of their notebooks because I had 2 brand new one. I decided to try to use it, and I went really far in this. Similar setup to the big one because this is kind of like the look I want. And I took some things out to use in the last setup. So this was also the same thing, paper, craft, washi tape, pocket. I love having a pocket in the front of the planner because it doesn't really affect me writing throughout the page if I were to put a pocket in, if it bulks up, things like that. Then I had this little quote section that I really loved, and I don't know how I'm going to remove it because this is glued down. To everything there is a season, and this is your season to focus on what matters and do all those things you've always wanted to do. The best part, there's no perfection required. Your small imperfect steps will add up. Instead of waiting for someday, your season to cultivate what matters starts today, right here in these pages. So I took this from the Cultivate That What Matters planner for 2023. I was not really using it, but I just wanted this quote, so I'm gonna figure out how to take this out. Same kind of setup. This was supposed to be my intentions. The bullet journal already have intentions written here, so I just kept it. I added the same notepad page, and I punched it. And then this, I did like a little, is this a Dutch door? I think I was trying to do like a Dutch door. So this was my future log, January, February, March, April, May, June, and then so forth, but just in this little section, which I really like. I'm going to try to incorporate this in my new setup. And then I would have, I forgot what was here. And then I also had this and, you know, places to visit. This is glued down, so I can't reuse this. These I left blank because this is the part of the planner where the pages kind of glue together. There's a few pages like this in this particular notebook. I added some ribbon trim to give it a little, I guess you could say, decoration for the sides. This I printed on vellum. This is actually some clip art I purchased from Etsy, and I kind of made this collage. Here I would have had the home section, kids information, Snoopy, and I had my bill tracker. That tracker was going to go here, self-care ideas. I had a lot more flexibility with how many pages I had, but I still did not have the 365 like astrology in order to kind of fully not worry about finishing the notebook before the year ends. And I know some people would say just go ahead and just, if it finished, set up a new one. I see people switch to like 2-3 stylogies in a year or notebooks, and they're fine with that. But for me, because I put so much time and effort into setting up my notebooks for the year, I don't want to set up a new one until the following year. It does take me a very long time to do these setups because so much goes into it. I will do a page and then I'll really think about it. Do I really love this? And yes, and then I'll move on. If I don't, I'll take it out, try again. But I don't really want to have to start over. So symptoms were going here, doctor's appointment, self-care list. I had like more pages to do, more things, more pages for my campaign tracker, and I, was loving it. And I made this section where was going to start my weekly, monthly, daily plan. So after I wrote out all of these notepads, figured out what's going where, I was really loving how it was looking. Like, it was looking really good. And for some reason, it felt really small to me. I was like, why is this notebook so small? Sorry, I was like, why is this notebook so small? Come to find out that it was a little bit, it wasn't wide enough. So I was like, okay, all right, not a deal breaker, but deep down I was cringing because this looks horrible. And I said to myself, all right, Siobhan, just stick with something because this is just getting ridiculous. You have things to do. I don't even know what day it is. I need my planner. I know I missed the appointment or something. Luckily, I have most bills on auto pay. I'll be screwed. But I just continued to set it up, and I couldn't figure out what was irking me about it, even though like this I think was really cute. I'm putting this in the new setup. I really love the beginning. I love this little idea here, and something just dawned on me. I'm looking at this and I was like, this is so ugly. This paper is ugly. Why is it so yellow? Why are the pages so yellow? And it dawned on me that the entire time I'm setting it up, even though I loved how it was looking, I love the concept and everything was coming together, this yellow page was not it. And that was the reason. Say no more. I immediately tossed this. I took out some of the stuff and then I started on the weekly planner, the bigger weekly planner that I showed first. So that's the reason why it didn't work out. And, I'm okay with that. I'm not ashamed of these little details that threw my entire planner off, because ultimately I'm going to use this for a year and I need to like this planner, Lots of mishaps and little boo-boos, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that I didn't try to tough it out. If I didn't like it off the bat, I don't like it. Say less, that's it. I'm not even going to try to like it. So this was my planner for 2022. What I did in the meantime for the couple of days, I actually started using this. See, January 4th and January 5th. I just needed a page to write down some to-dos and stuff. So I continued using this. I had astrology. We have astrologies on backups in our house because Amazon will tell me that I haven't ordered a Stalogy in a long time, so I'll be like, all right, Amazon, let me buy a new Stalogy because I haven't bought one in a long time. Plus, I had bought a couple at a local stationery store. But anyway, I made sure to mark it this time. I marked it. I took off the tape here, marked it, double checked it, triple checked it when I went there because we have no room for error. I said this planner needs to be set up. So this is the new planner. This is some papers, and I'm getting started on this tonight. So what are your stories? Why didn't your planner work out? What are these little pet peeves that just did not sit well with you for you to forego your entire planner and start over? These are mine. I hope you can relate at some level. But yeah, these are the planners that did not make it to 2023 and the reasons why. I'm hoping my next video is an actual setup of my 2023 planner, but I will be setting up a Stalogy. You know, Team Stalogy, love-hate relationship, but it doesn't fail. It is basically what's made for me. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, just leave them below.